What's going on, guys? I am back. It has been a very, very long time, and I apologize. But short story is, I lost all my equipment in a pipe burst in my studio, and after that, I spent several $1,000s replacing everything, and lightning strike somehow took everything out. So it was quite a miserable experience. But anyway, I am finally back in action, and I want to kick things off once again by playing one of my all-time absolute favorites, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and this is for the Nintendo Switch, which was recently released under the title the Rebel Collection. And I wanted to cover it and just give you a straight raw playthrough. I'm not going to be doing any editing, any trickery. This is just going to be a straight up playthrough, let you see exactly how it handles. And I know there's been a lot of concern out there after the third title in the franchise, Assassin's Creed 3, was ported to the Switch. And yeah, initially it was a little rough around the edges. They've since patched it, and I would encourage you to check it out if you haven't played its patched form. But there were a lot of overlying issues. There were a lot of audio issues. A lot of glitches that were in the 360 version and the PS3 version that oddly were corrected for the PS4 Xbox One remaster. Didn't get fixed in the Switch version. I thought that was kind of weird, and a lot of the improvements didn't necessarily require a lot of graphical hardware power didn't translate over, which I thought was very, very weird. But all I have to say, there were concerns obviously going into the Black Flag port. And I gotta say, quite frankly, your worries need to be subsided because this thing translated absolutely beautifully over to the Switch. It really truly has. To me, based on my opinion, my expertise for whatever that's worth, I believe they took the PS4 version and basically cut corners where they could. But the beautiful thing about it is the team took enough care to think very, very hard about what corners they needed to cut, and made the absolute most minimal impact on the game as possible. And quite frankly, I think they made all the right decisions. As you can see, just looking around, it's absolutely stunning. It's very, very beautiful. It runs, according to my computer, it is native 900p in docked mode, which is what we're playing right now, which is obviously a little bit of a step down from the PS4 version, which was 1080p, but that graphical downgrade, if you will, pretty much summarizes all the corners that were cut. They were just very, very minimal. Difference between 900p and 1080p is extremely minimal at best. In fact, I had to stare at the image for a little bit, and I even put it right next to a screen that I had my PS4 running it on, and it was very hard to tell a difference. And even with my critical eye, I really, really had a hard time differentiating between 900 and 1080, and that really summarizes everything up. I mean, the character models are maybe a little less detailed than the PS4. You'll notice the lush, a lot of the vegetation doesn't move quite like it did, not quite as animated or as alive as it was in the PS4 version. But again, you can't really tell unless you just stop playing and analyze the hell out of the game. Otherwise, it's going to look near identical to the PS4. Basically, unless you stop playing and just start getting all crazy and analyzing textures and pixel counts, you're just not going to notice the tiny corners that were cut getting this thing onto the Switch. So I definitely, whoop, all right, misjudged that one. Let's see if there's another way to get up. And I tell you, I'm amazed at how much I have forgotten about this game, but that's a whole separate issue. All right, there we go. That's all. It's coming back to me now. I'll figure it out eventually. That really, really, truly summarizes the game in a nutshell. They cut corners, but unless you really, really are paying very close attention and not really enjoying the game, those are the only time you're going to notice them. I mean, you just look at the draw distance, the water. I could not find a difference at all in that in the PS4 version. The reflections, very, very beautiful. Just take a moment here. I mean, still is a very beautiful game. Even in docked mode, it's 720p. It still looks good. and it holds at a rock solid 30 frames per second. I've played through the game once now, and this is my second run through, and I have a really hard time being able to get this thing to drop below 30. It holds incredibly well, frame rate wise. And 900p holds pretty steady too. I never ever saw any resolution drop that I could particularly notice. It did happen very, very quickly to where I couldn't even see it. But as far as I can tell, whoa! Forgot about that. Alright. Anyway. God, I have forgotten a lot about this game. Anyway. Holds very, very steady graphically. And really, truly, hats off to the team for being able to put this game together and make it translate so well to the Switch. Alright, now, another thing too, if you want a little bit of a refresher, just to give you an idea of what the team was going up against. And I'm going to find a little pillar up here. Let you guys look around while I'm running my mouth. I mean, see, look at that. It still looks good. I mean, you got a little bit of artifacting there in the back with the shadowing, but it looks great. Yeah, see, shadowing's getting a little funky back there in the draw distance, but otherwise, it's a beautiful picture. But anyway, going into this, real quick, if you want to look at history for both Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 and understand what the team was up against, the minimum, or excuse me, the recommended specs for PC back when these games were initially released in 2012 and 2013 for Black Flag, respectively, you need to have a 2.6 Intel quad core. You need to have video card, GeForce, jeez, this is a long time ago, GTX 460. You needed to have 4 gigs of RAM. You need to have 30 gigabytes of free space for 4, 3 required 17. And when you break down those recommended specs, what Ubisoft recommended just to make the game look good and play good the way they intended it, those are pretty much the specs of the Switch. So when they were developing these ports for 3 and 4, they were kind of already hitting that wall just starting out. Now obviously the Switch is probably going to be more efficient than the hardware at the time, and technology's passed, they can do more with the same hardware nowadays, but they were going up against a little bit of a challenge, being able to translate everything to the Switch and make it look good, make it look, if they could, better than the initial release. And I think here, certainly this version, the Switch version, looks and plays well, I would say, much better than the Wii U, 360, PS3. It's close to the PS4. I don't think it beats out the PC if you're able to... Oh, he doesn't like me. Let me hide over here. Doesn't really beat out the PC, especially if you can max that thing out with 4K and 60 frames a second. I think the PC version is still going to be your definitive version. I didn't feel like doing stealthy anyway. Come here, you. So, oh, ow. There we go. Firearms. Oh, is he still alive? Come on, dude. Alright. Anyway. Yeah, short story is, if I was to rate this, I would say, graphics-wise, performance-wise, almost as good as PS4, not quite up to spec with the PC if you're able to turn on all the bells and whistles. But it's still very impressive. Extremely impressive for the Switch. And again, take a look at the lighting. Everything looks very, very beautiful. Come on. And then they've added that little effect to the whistle. I don't remember that being in the original version, where you have kind of a circle of influence, if you will. And he was definitely outside my net, so let me go down here so I can get his attention. Alright, that wasn't quite how I intended to do it, but we'll improvise. There we go. But as you guys can see, it's holding incredibly well. 30 frames a second, no drops, resolution, or frame rate. It really, really, truly is beautiful. So definitely hats off to him. I'm going to give it a little bit more time to go through the gameplay here, but let's see here. Yeah, I'm kind of cheating a little bit, getting both a review and a gameplay video, kind of meshing them all together. I mean, look at all that. And again, just soaking it all in, giving you another good visual. I mean, this is very impressive for the Switch. The team absolutely knew what they were doing. Anyway, short story is, this is the same Black Flag that you know and love. I mean, I can't say enough positive things about it. I mean, for a 6-year-old game, it's mind-blowing. It still gives you that immersion. You still feel like you're in the Caribbean. It's truly a masterpiece, and it's truly astounding at how well it's held up and how well it translates over to the Switch. So if you love it, and I don't see how you couldn't love it, it's absolutely an incredible title. Definitely pick it up. If you got a Switch, there's no reason not to. Go ahead and pick up 3 while you're at it. It also is a spectacular game, but Black Flag is one of my absolute all-time favorites. So if I was going to rate this game, I would give it a straight 10 out of 10. Port-wise, quality-wise, translating it over to Switch, I would also give that a 10 out of 10. I really don't think they could have done a better job bringing it over to the Switch. They really, really, truly took their time with it. They made all the correct corner-cutting decisions where they had to, and it really doesn't take away from the experience of the overall game. It really, really is incredible. So, I say this, go out, buy it, get it for your Switch, enjoy going through Edward's journey again. It's an absolutely spectacular one. That's going to conclude, I suppose, the review portion of this. I'm going to keep the camera rolling, and you can view some more gameplay footage, but you're coming here just to get my opinion. Short story is, buy it. Get it. Right now. Immediately. You will enjoy it. I guarantee that. It truly is a phenomenal game, and I cannot even... I'd be here all day describing what a masterpiece this thing is. So please, do yourself a favor and get it now. As you can see, sometimes I like stealth, sometimes I just like shooting them. Everybody's got their preference.
Venga. ¡El mequetrefe ha escapado! ¡Alto ahí! ¡Eh! ¡Para! Voy a disparar. ¿Qué haces en los arbustos? ¡Sal! ¡Ahí! ¡Oye, canalla! ¡Tú, espera! ¡Detente! ¡Ah! ¡No podrás despistarnos! ¡Ayudadlo! ¡Rápido! ¡Que no se escabulla! ¡Ah! ¡Ahí, a por él! ¡Es mío! ¡Puedo darle! ¡Rápido!
Alright, well, that was sloppy.
No creas que nos despistarás. Pronto estarás criando. ¡Alto! Quiero hablar contigo.
You remember the gift you gave me? Well, it answers just fine.
Fils de putain! As bold as a musket ball, and still half as sharp. Ah!
I'm sorry about this, mate. But I can't risk you telling your Templar friends about me still kicking around.
I pity you, Boucanier. After all you have seen, after all we showed you of our order, still you embrace the life of an ignorant and aimless rogue.
What's this?
Is petty larceny the extent of your ambition? Have you no mind to comprehend the scope of ours? All the empires on Earth abolished, a free and open world, without parasites like you. Que l'enfer que tu trouveras soit le fruit de ton insouciance.
Bye.
The cove is ours!
Another note, this does seem to load a lot faster.
I just saw you were logging out, so I thought I'd stop by and give you
I
something.
think it loads a little bit
welcome
quicker than the
gift.
PS4, but certainly
We give
it seems
awards
to
to
do a
our
little bit
top-notch
faster
employees
than
for doing
a
quality
360
work.
Wii U,
And they're nice to have since there's
Wii U to
official
forever to
ones.
load,
I already have
or
about
the
11 or so.
PS3
Oh.
version.
Bonjour.
And it's 20 gigs. The game
pass
itself,
it on.
well, just Black Flag alone is about 20
Wow.
gigs.
Looks like Olivier
So it
wants
did
to
have
meet
some
with you.
pretty decent
Exciting.
assets that
Follow
it
me.
did load. Alright, here we are poking
It's on the
around
top floor,
Extergo
so
for
it's
any
not
of you
hard to
that
find.
are
But
interested
the
in that
rest of this
segment.
building can be confusing to
And I did think
first-timers.
this was actually
So,
another
we
original
had the tools
piece
team
that
whip up a great map application.
they
Check
did.
out
I liked
the
kind of the
communicator.
whole
I added a waypoint to Olivier's office. Should be
corporate
easy to find.
atmosphere, the whole, something shady's going on here, but you're not really sure, kind of get involved in
Olivier's
your
a
own
nice
little
guy.
mystery.
He
I
won't
did
bite.
like that aspect of it. I know plenty of people disliked it, but I thought it was pretty clever. And I did like the whole epilogue that it brought to Desmond's story. So, it was just a great game, all in all. It really, truly was, both past and present. Alright, where does it want me to go again? I'm guessing 415. Yep.
Hello? Hi? Testing, testing. Is this thing... This is John from IT. We met earlier. I was calibrating your Animus. I'm sort of the, Scotty of this Abstergo enterprise. In charge of all the techie stuff. Do you have a minute? Oh. Ah, damn it. The tracker says you're on your way to Olivier's office. Ah, all right. I'll ping you when you're done. I have a favor to ask.
Bonjour. Go right in. He's waiting for you.
Alright guys, I think this will be a good cutoff point. I'll probably try to maybe stream some of this or maybe do another video a little bit later on, but hopefully that gives you kind of an idea, quick raw playthrough. Like I said, kind of cheating, cramming a review and some gameplay segments all together. But hopefully this gives you an idea of the quality and what a spectacular
Well,
port
unless
it
you were
is,
specifically ordering
what an overall
me,
great game it is.
jeopardize
So
your
please do yourself a
flagship
favor, go
project.
pick it up,
Edward Kenway is
and just enjoy going back through Edward Kenway's life. It really truly was a phenomenal game and still holds up very well today. So go check it out and watch my channel. I'll try to do a little bit more streaming and get a few more videos of this game up in the very near future. But appreciate y'all watching, and again, any questions, just sign off in the comments, and I will respond ASAP. Thanks for watching, guys.
We'll talk.